Hey, all right, we're live. Hey, Anthony, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, Norman?
What's up? So, how long ago was it that we got an offer for you?
Oh, a week. It's been like a week
Did we-
now.
Yeah, so have you
Yeah.
started yet, or have you like just signed and etc.?
So today is gonna be my first day of training, and then I'm gonna train with the CEO Dan for like a week,
Excellent.
and then after that I'll officially start. So what we're gonna do at first is like a 1 month thing trial.
Yep.
So it's gonna be 1,000 a month, and then 30% commission.
Excellent.
And then after that he's gonna make like the full offer.
Excellent. So you started with us and enrolled. Feel like I feel like it's only been like a month, but I
I
know
know,
it's
right?
longer.
It's been so quick. It's crazy.
Yeah, like when did we enroll with you?
Oof. Well, it had to be. It's like 8 weeks ago. 2 months.
Yeah.
Two and
So
a
we're
half
8 weeks.
months.
Okay. So we're not entirely done with the program. Yeah. Wow. So talk to me a little bit about, where you were at right now. You're in Colombia right now, right? You're out of the country?
Yep.
That's awesome. And when we met 8 or some odd weeks ago, you were sort of evaluating options and thinking about tech sales. You have a sales background, right? Car sales.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like was this a good fit better than maybe some sort of videos or something you could have picked up on YouTube?
I think. Well, the big thing with this, obviously, is you get to go into a classroom.
Yeah.
And the classrooms are pretty small, intimate. So you get one-on-one time with your instructor, Jamie, who I had. She was excellent. Answers all your questions. Has amazing experience. So you can't really get that on the internet. The best you could do on the internet is pause and think about
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and then replay the video. So
Yeah.
um, here you get to stop, ask questions if you're confused. After class, if you need extra help, you can meet with them. Also, the big thing about Elevate is like the network of people,
Yeah.
hiring partners, alumni who've already been successful in the industry. So I mean, you really can't beat that. It's kind of
That's true.
invaluable. So it's been a big help.
Now, again, I gotta harp on it. You had sales experience coming into this. So some of what you learned probably felt like a refreshing on some things that you've done before. Some of it new, some of it new techniques, next level stuff, etc. But what would have been, having some sales experience, what would you say is maybe some of the most challenging skills to develop during the program?
I think mostly it's the research.
Yeah,
The research on some of these companies. You go on their website, and in Elevate, you get trained to pick apart these websites.
right.
You get to find their VP, their ICP, their buyer persona, all of this put together a nice idea of who you're really selling to, and it gives you direction. So I feel like at first that was a little difficult. You go on these SaaS websites and you don't really know what you're looking for if you don't have experience.
Yeah.
They're just like these colorful websites that look pretty cool, but you're kind of just scrolling around. But then
It's
you
all a
get
bunch
to
of jargon.
learn exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. But then after your training, you really get to utilize those things and leverage, what we've learned here to be effective. So I think that was something at first that was maybe it was different than being,
Yeah.
either a car salesman or, I was in acquisition for a little bit, not sales per se, but you're selling like certain ideas.
Mm.
So kind of related, but not as technical, So
What do you, which is a good point around like leveraging this to be successful. So, when you were interviewing with this partner, and any interviews that you've been in so far, like, how would you say that, you know, what you've learned or what you've been able to practice here, um, impacted those conversations?
yeah. So I had an interview with a tech company
Yeah.
before I joined Elevate. I got to the second round and then was ultimately, rejected. And I was trying for like months, to land a job in tech sales. That was the really only time I did it. And I guess I was missing really like the qualifications. Like, you know, they know I had a sales background, but I
Yeah.
wasn't really polished up in the industry.
Yeah.
So I think now when I go into interviews, it's not like I'm trying to impress them, you know, by saying certain things. It's just the things that we've learned here, I now know and say, and it's what they're looking for. So, you
Mm,
know, it's a big difference. And now I think they see me, you know, and my fellow students as candidates, and we're at the top of the bunch as far as hiring goes because we just know. It's like we've gotten
you just
in
know.
10 weeks, you
Yeah.
know, get a year or so of experience just by
That's
doing the
so
boot
cool.
camp. So, yeah.
I love that phrase. We just know. I feel like that's the
Yeah.
title of this video. Uh,
Yeah.
so okay, so look, I mean, but you've been in that shoes where you still like you didn't necessarily know when you enrolled that the outcome, the entire result that you were going to get from the skills obtained, etc. Like we shared you the curriculum and those sorts of
Of
things,
course.
but you didn't literally grab it until you were in the class, you were practicing, and like you're actually doing it. So like, what would you say to other climbers or students that we're speaking with and thinking about offering them the opportunity to enroll? Like, what would you say? What advice or tips would you give them?
I would say so pretty much before I joined, obviously, you know, I was a little hesitant, you know, because it's a decent amount of money.
Yep.
Um, and I figured I had to think about it. I spoke about it with my wife, and you know, I was like, yeah, you could go online and get, you know, do all this information and take a year or whatever trying to really get that experience. But with Elevate, you get that 10-week program and you'll learn more than you ever would just by looking at, you know, the internet. Plus you get that network of people who always have your back,
Mm,
help you write your resumes. You know, there's thousands of videos online how to write resumes. All of them are a little different. You know, sometimes it can be overwhelming. I got help from my mentor writing my resume, and I feel like it was direct, and it was easier. You know what I mean? You don't have
yeah.
to think so much. So there's that, and it was worth it, of course. And with the payment plans and everything, it's like you're gonna land a job if you do what you're supposed to do and elevate within the. I mean, even before you graduate, you know, if you really do what you're supposed to do, you'll land a job. If not, very soon after graduation. So
That's
it's,
awesome.
it's from my experience, you know, that's what I gathered.
I almost don't want to say anything else. In fact, I think let's just end it there because that's like very concise, perfect right there.
All
So
right, cool,
let's
no.
end the recording. Thanks so much for taking the time, Anthony.
Of course, no, and thank you.